Yo, Diggity Dogs, it's me, AJ Beast, and this is going to be the first video on this channel, the first actual football thing on this channel, and I'm basically talking about, it's basically a yap session, but it's pretty much what's going on with the Giants, and I hope you enjoy, and if you like my rant, and like what I'm doing here, subscribe, give me a like, trying to start something. And I'd love for you to be on the journey. But yeah, enjoy the video.
Want to start first by talking about the Lions game. It was frustrating, but also just upsetting. Because I've been mad several times, but not one game has left me to a point of emotion where I'm just sad. I'm just downright sad. Not just because of a sorry team, but because one side is clearly way better than the other. And what I basically mean is offense played their heart out. Were they perfect? No. I saw an interception. I saw Jameis, 18 for 36, I'm pretty sure, at attempts made. And overall, watching that, looking at that, keeping up with the game snap for snap, it showed me that the Giants were not serious about winning because they had a losing coach in Shane Bowen. Shane Bowen, for what I know, has never been very good overall. I mean, this is not the first. This is not the second. This is not the third or the fourth. This is the fifth time that the Giants have led the lead in the fourth quarter and lose the game. Every time. It is the same thing every single time. When they have the game, they lose it because of defense, because of Shane Bowen, because of this incompetent office. It's a mess. And overall, what I'm looking for is a clean slate. You got rid of Brian Daboll. Offense, honestly, improve. They with Mike Kafka as the head coach, he was able to make the hard decisions to go for it in certain situations. And what we saw in the first game is that they were able to make those big plays and also get the ball moving. And the thing is with the first game with him as head coach, yes, they looked like they were struggling. They were able to keep the clock running, they were able to get down the field, and they were able to score. Defense clearly was not able to give offense enough time, nor enough opportunities to keep the lead. You might look at that game, the Packers game, with Jameis, as a situation where, this is Jameis, get an interception. Jalen Hyatt was supposed to keep going in his route. He would have most likely broken up the interception or gotten the catch if he kept going in his route. And B, they shouldn't even have been in that situation if the defense was competent enough to stop the offense on the other side at least one time. Because overall, it's an offense, defense, special teams game. You cannot have one good side of the ball. And I will mention that as well, because I also saw the amount of times that I saw yesterday where the Giants were starting at the 10 to 15 yard line on our side of the field. It is miraculous that they were able to get 27 points because they were starting in the worst field position that I've ever seen them in. And it just drives me insane because it's like I said, 5 times they have been in the lead in the fourth quarter and they have lost that lead every single time. This is a team that realistically should have 7 wins today. But because of Shane Bowen, and it's not just Shane Bowen, I will also bring this out too. A lot of defensive players on this team that should be doing more for this team, but haven't done anything. And then there's people on this team that have done good things, but a minute after, penalty for 20 yards. So overall, the good players are playing okay to bad. And the elite players are playing okay or elite. And the only elite players that are playing at that level is Kayvon Thibodeau, who this year, I will say he's been on fire. You know what I mean? Like, he's had the best year of his career. And I'm excited to see what he has in the future. And Brian Burns. Brian Burns has been the defense as a whole. For some reason, you have a defense with Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter. Don't even get me started on Abdul Carter. The dude doesn't want to be at meetings. He doesn't want to pay attention to things that matter. It might not seem like it matters, but it does. And showing that Brian Dable just let that stuff slide just goes to show how bad this organization is managed overall. So at the end of the day, it just mind boggles me that they're just letting this happen. They're letting this franchise down by having terrible coaching that doesn't know what they're doing, that doesn't know how to develop talent. So yeah, maybe Joe Schoen has gotten us talent that needed development and could have benefited from a better coaching staff. But he also is in charge of getting that coaching staff. So ultimately, it's still his fault, and is why he needs to go as well. If he doesn't leave, oh my God. If he doesn't leave, and let's say Darius Slayton goes to a team, and he plays phenomenal, which I would not be mad at. You know what? I haven't been mad. That's the problem. I haven't been mad a single time when the Giants have had to move on from players and they've instantly played better. You want to know why? Because I've known that they were better. I've known they were a better player. You want to know why they were bad on the Giants? Because the Giants don't have a culture. They don't have that kind of franchise that's able to develop players and have them at their best. No, they take great players and make them good. They take excellent players and make them okay. They take developing stars who could be really good into dumpster fires that no one wants by the time trade deadline comes around. So ultimately, this team needs a restart. We have spent too much money on this defense that is doing absolutely nothing. Why is the offense now, why is the rules reversed? Because the last past years, our main problem was offense, and defense was playing good. They had bad run blocks still, but they were the only reason why we're staying in games. Now it's the other way around, where the offense has doing all the work. Jameis Winston, oh my gosh, what a man. I love Jameis Winston. This man has done so good in his first two starts. He didn't play amazing against the Packers, but he did here against the Lions. He threw for like 366 yards and 2 touchdowns and a receiving touchdown. Like, dude, what kind of game, what else? What else does the offense have to do in order for this team to win games? Nothing. That's the thing. They have done everything they needed to do. So what's the problem? It is the defense. It is straight up just the defense that is making this team not able to win games. And so ultimately, hey, calm down. Coaching is one of the main reasons why this team is failing and sucking right now. So don't give me that crap when you say, oh, this player's bad. Oh, this player's bad. Yeah. You want to know why they're bad? It's because they weren't able to learn. They weren't able to develop. Talk about this receiving room. Darius Slayton's the oldest player, and he was drafted by the Giants like 5 or 6 years ago. So they don't have veteran leadership. The only veteran leadership we just got was Jameis Winston, and he was one of the best things about this team. He lifted their spirits. Then you get Jackson Dart and Cam Scadaboo, who just energized this team, energized this offense. And I honestly saw better improvement in defense when that happened. But they still made mistakes. And ultimately, like I said, good talent gets elevated by good coaching. Good talent declines in bad coaching. So it doesn't matter how good these players are individually. It doesn't matter how good they are game day. Because at the end of the day, if they don't have good leadership, then they're not going to be able to do anything. And that is what I'm seeing from the offense. Mike Kafka, Jameis Winston, anyone who's putting up something to give this team some energy, some new life, they're doing their job. And that is a lot more than we can say about the defense. And I hate hating on the defense. I hate going after players, but I am not looking at the players at this point. This is a situation that was cold-heartedly 100% on Shane Bowen. And ultimately, do not be surprised if we still are bad. Because at the end of the day, yeah, a part of it is bad players. Bobby Okereke needs to leave. Like, he was great the first season we got him, and then he's been absolutely nothing since. We need better backfield. I would like a more competent line, which is crazy to say because you spend most of your money on that line. On that D-line, that's like supposed to be a great D-line. Ultimately, if they had better coaching, it probably would be better. But right now, we're not seeing that. So ultimately, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they need better. It doesn't matter what they need. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what they need because at the point right now, they're not going to get that. They're not going to get that within like 5 games. Like, at the end of the day, yes, the season's over. But we're looking towards the future. We're looking at Jackson Dart. We are looking at Cam Scatterbo. We are looking at Malik Neighbors. We're looking at the young guys who can elevate this franchise. And ultimately, hopefully, we can also see Abdul Carter in that space. We can probably see him in a position where he's able to succeed. Because if he gets a discipline and like hardworking defensive coordinator that's not going to take his overall, you get someone like that and he's able to listen to that guy and get better because of it, Abdul Carter is going to be like Micah Parsons. Abdul Carter's going to be that big star player. And the second that he starts being good, everyone around him starts getting better. You want to know why? Because when it comes to defense, when you got one guy making big pressure, it gives other people the opportunity to make big plays. And that's what you need. You need a team player that's going to elevate this team. Because ultimately, he's in the opposite role, where Brian Burns is getting that. Kayvon Thibodeau is doing that. Not even Dexter Lawrence is doing that. And I am not going to say anything bad about Dexter Lawrence, because at the end of the day, I don't know what's going on with him. I hope he plays better, because at the end of the day, Dexter was the best part of this team coming into this season and even before that. So to see him kind of regress worries me, but I honestly believe it also could possibly even be coaching, because someone like Dexter shouldn't be doing be at this point that he is. But you know what? It's fine. Whatever. It's very simple. It's not, though. Like I say, it's simple. It's not. If the Giants want to win games, they need to get rid of the losing culture. And that is something I have picked up on by, Marshall Green at Giants Chat Sports. Love the dude. One of the main reasons why I love talking about football. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, this is a great thing. It should have happened months ago. I'm serious, months ago. Shane Bowen should not have even came into this season as the defensive coordinator. I don't care what you say. I don't care what he has done in the past. All that matters, especially when it comes to like new coaching hires, ultimately, because I see people go like Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy won 1 Super Bowl years ago. And currently, his time and stint with the Dallas Cowboys, seeing star players there, He had an offense that was able to be elite in the regular season. But how did it work out in the wild card? Every year, they would never be able to get even close to the NFC Championship games, let alone the Super Bowl. Like, at the end of the day, like, the next coach either has to be a proven success. Whether it has to be a proven success. It just has to be. Whether it's a former head coach or a coordinator. Because there's two coordinators, offensively, defensively, respectfully, that I feel, because I'm watching them. I'm also Seattle's fan. So I think it's the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks. He's a big target because this offense has been looking incredible under him. But part of me, looking at these past few games, also kind of wants Mike Kafka to stay. It really sucks that he's been elevated to head coach, because that's going to be the main position that's going to be questioned. And whether they want him or not, he's either going to leave and find a coordinating job somewhere else, or stay as offensive coordinator. And I think the only way that would happen is if the head coach position would ask if Mike Kafka could take control of the offense. Because honestly, from what I've seen this offense could do in the span of like 2 weeks, this man is so creative that if he had Malik Neighbors, if he had Cam Scadaboo, if he had Jackson Dart, then this team would look amazing. But it wouldn't change the defense. I mean, they probably score 50 points with that group and still lose. But hey, that's just Giants. Ultimately, I'm excited to see. I'm just ready for the offseason, dude. If I'm being honest. Joe Shane needs to be fired. We need someone who has better direction and has better sight of the future. It starts with coaching, like I've said. But ultimately, it's coaching and developing players. That comes with coaching. You need good coaches in order to develop players that have potential. You can't always get a Malik Neighbors. You can't always get a Cam Scadaboo. You can't always get a Jackson Dart. You can't always get these players that are going to be able to elevate this team just by being there. That is a dime in a dozen. And these are all first-round picks. All first-round picks that Joe Shane has been able to make. Yes. But he has done it with the hindsight of being in the position to get these players. Why? Because two. Every year, we've only won 2 games. That's not eliteness. That's not development. We're doing the same thing every year. It's insanity. Joe Shane's insane. He is the definition of insanity because he's coming in expecting the same results. And you can't tell me he isn't, because it's been the same thing every year. He has succeeded one time. And I hate that one playoff run where we won against the Vikings, who realistically shouldn't have even been in the playoffs either. I hate that they were put in that position, and just because of that, just because of injuries, they gave them chance after chance after chance after chance until enough was enough. But at this point, you've ruined Dexter Lawrence prime probably, because that's what I'm worried about. Because at the end of the day, he is starting to regress. And I'm hoping it's just a slump year, because if he's regressing, then we had wasted some of the best years of Dexter Lawrence's career. And he is one of my favorite players on the Giants. He has been that for years. I've been wanting to get a jersey for him because not from him, but, Dexter Lawrence jersey, because he has been the defense. He has been the Giants winning culture. He just needed people around him to have that same fight, have that same feel. But we don't have that right now. Anyways, this is definitely not going on TikTok, so I think I'm just going to make a YouTube channel to be a rant session. I did want to make a YouTube channel. So, hi, I'm AJ. Um, mostly known on YouTube, as AJ Beast because I used to do videos. But sorry, I know this was just a big rant about the Giants. I know it's probably not something that people would be interested in, but if you think I made valid points, let me know. If anyone sees this, let me know, because I want to build something, and I love talking about football. I love talking about the Giants, no matter how angry I seem. But yeah, let me know. Subscribe if you want to hear more of me, because I got a lot of opinions, I got a lot of thoughts, and I'd love to make this a thing. So, yeah, leave a like, subscribe. Leave a like if you believe that losing culture is still here. If Shane Bowen is still here. Just because I'm very sure of it. So let me know. But should I do my outro? Yo, diggity dogs, AJ Beast is out.